Welcome to Bogside Chats.
Your audio cut out when you tilted your head back.
Damn it! Did it really?
It got really low.
I gotta make sure it's close.
We're not trying to scream at them.
I don't want to scream. That's why it's like coming from far away was what I was trying to do. You know?
Welcome.
Yeah. 2 seconds of silence. Oh, how can I work like this? Welcome to Bogside Chats. We are keeping it casual, the only non-whale podcast, no Gen Zeros, no stable of 100 heroes. My name is Matty Pesk. I am joined today by Guy Kid and Franz. How are we doing, guys?
Doing great. C9N's not here. It's going to be a great show.
C9N couldn't make it tonight. That doesn't mean the show's going to be better or worse. I don't know why you'd say that. That's just rude.
Yeah, you told me you were going to match his energy, and Jewel is up since our last podcast, and your energy is nowhere close to what C9N brought us last week.
Jewel, I tried. I'm trying, but Jewel is almost at $9. This is best news ever.
And you also forgot to say the one thing that you wanted you to say. Everybody make sure that you like and smash that subscribe button. C9N
I'm never saying
that remembers to say it, so...
I'm never saying that. I refuse. You can maybe click the subscribe. That would help us a lot. Or hit it. Yeah, that's fine.
Whatever your fancy is.
Yeah.
If you smash it, you might break it, and then that's probably not good for the future subscribers.
We don't want that. All right. It is the Crystalvale Eve show, is what I'm calling it. It is the night before Crystalvale. And not a hero is selling, but that we'll get to later. Jewel is up. Jewel's been on a run. It's been on a tear, almost at $9. I mean, other than pure excitement, any notes on Jewel?
Yeah, I mean, you don't want me drawing lines on a chart. A few triangles. Don't go well.
I always trust your TA when you send it to me.
I mean, I play around with it just to see. I've never traded off my own TA. That would be foolish. But
I'll be advisable, yeah.
Yeah, but up only.
Guy, any thoughts on Jewel skyrocketing?
Green is good.
Yeah.
Let's keep it going.
Nope. I agree. It's good for everybody. Everybody loves that. Today we're going to talk a little bit about what's going on with the Tavern and how insane the prices are getting. We also had an AMA today. We're recording on Monday evening. It is the 28th. They did an AMA today. A lot of it was just kind of recap from the AVAX summit out in Barcelona. I'm not even going to attempt the accent. But they kind of just were thanking everybody, thanking the team. You know, they were like treated like kings out there. Everybody knew who they were. They had the, the keynote address they gave, which was fire. Did you guys catch the AMA? Any general thoughts on it?
Honestly, it's pretty good hearing Frisky just talk about everything you could just feel the passion that he has for this project. He's so excited for DFK Chain and Crystalvale and everything that the future has to bring of Crystalvale. It just feels like there's so much hype around Crystalvale, and it's one step in a very, very long roadmap for the whole DFK game as a whole, which is neat to think about.
Yeah, I had a different reaction on the AMA at first. I was like, and I said it to you guys, I was like, that was kind of a nothing burger, right? It seemed like it was all information we had. Then I went on Twitter, and people were raving about it. So I think I was just I wanted them to say something about pets. I wanted to say something about LAN tournaments, whatever. That's what I always want. But overall, it was a lot of good stuff, a lot of stuff to be excited about.
Right, yeah, I think it's a good point. There wasn't a lot of game alpha or stuff like that usually we like theorizing on. There was a lot of stuff about Crystalvale gardens, the ice gardens, a lot of stuff about this X Crystal conversation is kind of interesting. They also had a lot of stuff of like day of timeline, when will the gardens be open, when can you jump in, stuff like that. Which again, I think I agree. For me personally, I was listening. I was kind of like, what's going on here? This isn't really anything I can take from. I can't really take anything from this, but smarter people found that there was a lot of stuff in there.
Well, Matty, you gonna tell the audience when they can jump in and when it opens? You referenced it. You didn't
Oh,
give
right,
them
yeah.
the alpha.
I highly recommend checking out Sandwich Punch. He always has the breakdown.
Don't bother with this podcast. Just go read the Medium
Not
article
come
from
prepared
Sandwich.
with.
Well, I mean, if you're looking for just like the numbers, yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's nothing for us to speculate on. That's what we do here.
I think it opens at 9 p.m. or 8 p.m. Eastern time.
Yeah. Hold on.
But the actual chain will be open all day. But that's when the emissions start.
Oh, okay, yeah, mission start.
Yeah, so you'll have plenty of time to get everything into Crystalvale. And actually, this is a point I want to make. Be prepared, right? So right off the bat, if you can just send over X Jewel and you have the ability to sell your X Jewel there to get Jewel, that might seem like a fine plan, but that's going to change the multiplier, right? The what it's selling for over there, you might get a raw deal and not get as much Jewel. Divide it out first, bridge them both over. It's something we've all been waiting for. Don't mess it up at the last second.
Yes, take a note here from Scar and be prepared. That's good. Yeah. Lion King?
Lion King?
You didn't get that one?
Yeah. That was a great Lion King reference.
Yeah, it was great. Great Lion King
loved
reference.
I mean, I remember the movie, not that one.
But I think it's really important, and it's great that they're going to do it. That the outpost post the chain is going to be open 8 hours before emissions start. So we're all going to see what the general traffic looks like in the ice gardens and see what's happening with the Sarandale gardens. And you don't have to be. We've done a couple failed LP farming experiments ourselves. You don't have to be sitting at your computer hitting the refresh button waiting for the chain to open and then to immediately get there for the first 10 minutes where there's 100,000% APR. The fact they're giving an 8-hour buffer gives people plenty of time to move their money over based on their schedule, based on what they have going on in their personal lives.
Yeah, I think it's a good point. I think, is that a direct reference to Holy Grail, the best Harmony project to ever exist?
We did Holy, and then we did Comfy too, right? We did a nice
Comfy was ugly. Comfy, I think, is legitimate, but like when I got in, I just lost all my money. Not financial advice. Yeah, I mean, I think that's interesting. Like, I know, and I want to talk about this a little bit later when we get into the tavern. I have some liquidity, not a lot. I don't know. I mean, are you guys still planning on being there day one, being in as soon as you possibly can, right? That's still your plan, right?
Oh, yeah. I took the day off from work. I mentioned at the end of the last episode. I did not need to do that. I'm realizing now. But, what's done is done, so I'll enjoy it.
Yeah, and I'm going to be in. I'm going to have a couple hundred Jewel over. I don't think I'm going to move as much as I was probably originally planning based on status of the tavern market, as well as we're seeing the Sarandale Gardens continue to have better and better returns as people are leaving there. So I'm really curious to see how that jumps up at 3-4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon Eastern time once the new outpost has been open for a couple hours.
I just got an egg.
Woo! You serious?
Yeah, I just got a green egg.
Ooh, great.
Greggy.
Oh, that's fantastic. I'm on my laptop doing it too, so I can't even cut my screen over, but it'll be tweeted. Sorry,
that's
carry
exciting.
on.
That's exciting. That's the excitement we need from you.
Yeah.
Franz, what's the return on that egg if you go sell it now and put it in the ice gardens?
Also, is Greg a gray egg or a green egg?
Green, because, well, yeah, I always see it as green. I thought I was going to have a logical answer, like, oh, it's green because it's this.
GR.
Yeah, GR, that's what I was going with.
So is great. Anyways, yeah, I'm blaming you for that disruption, Franz. But yeah, I think this is all right. This is a good blend into my first big question here. We've seen the tavern right now. Everybody is selling every hero they have right now. The prices are insanely low. Myself, I have bad news for the podcast. I'm probably going to have to retire. I was able to pick up a Sage for 111 Jewel. I now own a Sage, and I'm a whale, basically. That's all that means. I'm a whale, and I can't do this podcast anymore. So
I don't have any elite classes, Sage or Dragoon. Got me beat.
Yeah.
I had a Sage I sent on PJ who did not come back.
Oof.
Yeah, so I'm the biggest whale in this podcast right now. There we go. No, but that being said, it appears, at least anecdotally, maybe there's stats to back this up, that everyone is thinking of this. This is the technique, and everyone is selling their heroes to enter into these Crystalvale liquidity pools.
What just happened? I am at the floor, and I just filtered it to rares, and we're still in the 30s.
Yeah.
There's a rare thief for 39 jewel.
Is it a Fisher?
Fish?
We're gonna have to go buy it.
Of course, it's a
Gardener.
Gardener. But
Sense.
I mean, it's a thief.
Right. So I mean, clearly people are selling everything to have liquidity for Crystalvale. Is it possible so many people are doing this that the Crystalvale numbers are going to be thrown off by this, and they're not going to be as high as we think they're going to be?
Well, if you listened to the last episode that you weren't on, you would have our thoughts on that. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of talk that this could be a really crowded trade. I don't think it's going to get to the point where it's not going to be beneficial to go into Crystalvale. We're not saying that, but they're just you could sit on the market on the Tavern for hours looking at all these deals. There's so much out there.
All right.
So I'm we'll probably end up talking about the Tavern for 10-15 minutes. So just to hit on your point first, though, there is 32 million jewel in the bank right now. So assuming, just so I can do easy math, assuming jewel's $10, I don't know if jewel's going to be $10 tomorrow,
Sure.
but I just don't feel like doing math.
Yeah.
That's 320 million in the bank right now. I think that 70% of the bank's here because they're going to go move over to Crystalvale. So that's 160 million right there, which I think is the same size as the Jewel 1 pair on Sarandale.
So it will not be significantly more. It'll be equal.
Well, but the emission rate is...
The emission rate. Sorry, you're right. The emission rate. Yeah.
The emission rate's higher, so it's going to be mainly the multiplier of the emission rate. But I don't think it's going to be anything more than that. I mean, we're still talking 1,000, 1,500% plus, which is great. But 95% of it's going to be locked.
Yeah, it's going to be...
And I don't know how your... Franz, I don't know how your garden's doing over on Defira, but my sealed Fira isn't bringing me a whole lot of value right now.
I don't play that game.
Wow.
What are you talking about? Cut that out, please.
Wow.
It's BS. It's
this was not in the show notes. This was not in the show notes, by the way.
God.
You're right.
Locked Crystal is going to be great. It's it's going to unlock 2% in Epoch, great. And yeah, we're all going to want Crystal long term, but you're not going to see at least half of that Crystal for 6 months. Plus miners, I guess.
And I did, first off,
is that the alpha play? Did we just stumble into the alpha play? Should we be buying miners right now?
Well, I have been. Past week I bought 2.
So. Well, no, you need to be buying Berserker miners. That's what you need.
That's the Gen 0 we're going to end up with from the raffle.
Yeah.
Nice Berserker miner.
All right. So I guess you kind of you shut down my point, I think, because there's the money there, but is there a chance there's people with Jewel not currently in the bank that are going to be moving into the Crystalvale in the first week? I don't know. I think there's a chance that people are going to be pissed because these gardens are going to be good. They're going to be 500, 600 plus, but they're not going to hit that 4-digit, and everyone's going to be pissed.
Yeah, I mean, to your question, is there money on the sidelines that we're not seeing right now? Yeah, I think there always is. I think people start tweeting out
AVAX Summit too, the AVAX chains.
Yeah,
all the new money theoretically coming into the game.
People start tweeting out screenshots of the APRs. Other people are responding, "Hey, where's that? What is that?"
Sure, yeah.
But I don't think that means that it's going to be a poor trade by any stretch. I want to be clear on that.
No, and I think, and I also think there's a bunch of things with Crystal that they've done that's sort of going to prevent, the locking. Obviously, the X Crystal being the way it gets airdropped that was talked about in the AMA today. I think they're putting a lot of safeguards in place so that Crystal does not dump as soon as everybody gets it.
Well, explain that a little bit more. with the X
Yeah.
crystal. I agree with that.
Yeah, a guy needs to explain that.
Well, they're gonna reward X crystal instead of crystal, right? Was that the punchline of the AMA?
That's what the airdrops are going to be. Yes.
And that's huge. So that means you don't have to worry about rushing to claim your crystal and sell your crystal and to get it in the bank. Of the longer you hold on to that crystal, it's now X crystal. As the bank ratios improve, you're going to be getting more crystal with the changing bank ratio. So if the bank ratio goes to 1.5, your one crystal is now actually 1.5 crystal.
Well, so what? But what I was throwing it back to Matty to say, right? It's you're saying they're putting safeguards in place so that people don't dump. I mean, think about it psychologically. If you're getting X crystal that is now already starting to earn, you're a little less likely to, sell it immediately on day one. It's a subtle thing. I don't think it's going to be a big driver in people hanging on to their crystal if they want to sell, but it's it's a little nudge in the right direction.
Great.
Yeah, I hate to say it, but it seems like being in on these ice gardens is definitely going to return some value. I just wish I was right because I spent all my jewel on cheap heroes. And I don't have a big enough wallet to do both. So, I mean, I'm still very happy right now. Like I said, I'm a whale. I have a sage. So, I'm happy with that. But I think there's going to be a lot of value here in these gardens, and I think being in on this first week is.
I think that it's gonna do what any airdrop does. It's gonna shoot up, and then bottom's gonna fall out, and that's when I'll be looking to pick it up. I'm looking to make like a trade. Like I'm not looking to like just get out of it altogether. I'm looking to make a quick swing trade.
So the whole idea of crystal and jewel is it's going to eventually balance out. So if crystal's at a 2-3x multiple of jewel, yeah, the logical thing is to sell it.
But I don't think that you can use those logical tokenomics just yet. I think it's going to have some wild price action that's not going to be like you're going to be saying, well, why did it dip there? Or why did it go up there? And it's like, well, it's just doing things right now. Over a month, 2 months, 3 months, I think what you're saying makes sense.
Yeah. Well, so I'm trying to figure out like week to week. I think jewel crystal will stabilize a month in, probably way before.
Wait, hold on.
So,
Are there going to be people who are right now paying attention to this game, know what's going on, who are coming in and buying crystal?
Yeah.
What if you're
how else are you going to get into the crystal AVAX pool?
You're stacking your jewel to get higher rewards, and you're not necessarily
that locked crystal. You mean?
You're not necessarily making a separate purchase for crystal. You're just hoping to get the rewards in crystal being high.
But if you want to get into the AVAX crystal pool or the jewel crystal pool, how are you?
Which is what is a week after the launch.
Yeah. Let's say it is for the purpose of this conversation.
Okay. Yeah.
Those rewards are going to be locked, so you have to buy crystal if you're not getting airdropped.
Yeah, I guess so. My question is,
otherwise you're going to enjoy your 98% locked crystal.
Right, but I'm saying you think there's going to be significant buy pressure on crystal.
Yeah, I do. Because there's none that exists today.
Right,
and
but
everyone that has crystal is going to want to put that crystal in the gardens.
And not sell it. Yeah.
Correct.
So the people
I'm also thinking, and I mentioned it a little bit at the beginning of the pod, but like kind of, didn't give a good explanation. The whole idea of the X jewel, right? And the fact that it's just going to be a tradable asset on Crystalvale and that the price is going to fluctuate. I really think that we're going to see a lot of people selling their X jewel. Well, actually, I don't know, because I think there are going to be people that bridge over X jewel and then have to sell some for jewel. And then I also think there are going to be people that aren't coming from Harmony. And this is something Sandwich and a few of the other people were saying. They're going to need to get X jewel somehow. They're not going to go to Harmony to get it and take an extra few turns. They're going to just buy it right there. So it's going to have buy pressure.
Well, I guess that's my question then. how is X Jewel a separate like tradable asset? Isn't it always tied to your jewel, or can you independently buy it separate from jewel?
You can independently buy it, but what it is, it's a think of it as a receipt for a certain amount of jewel.
Okay, I see.
Pump breaks that down perfectly on their Twitch episode, Clement and GMI's Twitch episode.
Okay.
Yeah, they were talking about all the
And
arbitrage stuff. Well,
they think that's the maximum alpha play is selling your X Jewel on Crystalvale and then going back to Serendale and but depositing more jewel to get more X Jewel and repeating that process.
If you okay, I'll need to listen to it because I'm struggling mentally with this. If you sell your X Jewel, are you selling your jewel?
you don't
You're
have
selling
jewel
your
anymore.
X Jewel for jewel.
When you have X jewel, you no longer have jewel. Think about it, that. That'll help
Okay.
you. That's not technically true, but that'll help you.
Yeah.
Yeah, because most likely you're selling your X Jewel for jewel.
Right, but
The person on the
hypothetically,
other end owns
Crystalvale
jewel.
could hypothetically have X Jewel for Crystal, right? Down the
Yes,
road.
there's going to be X crystal. Not even down the road.
Well, are you selling your X Jewel for X Crystal, or
You could sell your X
wait?
jewel for Ethereum
Go to the
if you want it.
go to the marketplace. It's just X Jewel is just a token like any other item.
But don't you lose your
So
jewel that you have in the bank?
you don't have that anymore. You have X jewel.
But that will
Right.
affect your totals, though.
What totals? You have a total of 10 X jewel. Don't
Yes.
worry about what that represents. Don't worry about, well, that represents 17 jewel.
Okay, and I sell it for 1 Ethereum.
Yeah, now you have 1 Ethereum.
I no
It's
longer
great.
have.
It's a pretty great trade.
I know.
So-
Yeah, but I no longer have any jewel or X Jewel.
Right, because you
Okay.
just sold your X jewel, and the X jewel is the way you get jewel.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
I think in my mind, I feel like X Jewel is just a placeholder for my jewel.
Right. And I mean, it is.
Which is accurate until you go and you sell that placeholder.
Okay.
Right. It's if I had an IOU from Guy that said Guy owed me $5, and I sell it to you for $3, I now owes you
Gotcha.
$5. It's not, well, what about my $5 too?
Yeah.
You're looking at my screen, right? I'm
No, I got you. Yeah.
streaming for the pod, but
Yeah, I mean, I just threw Craig on. I don't know if we'll actually use this, but
I mean, I think
Yeah.
this was a good conversation, to be honest.
yeah. Well, because I struggled with that. So I think I also struggled with that with the X Crystal when we were talking about it. Isn't that just a representation of the crystal that you have staked in the game?
Right.
Maybe staked is a heavy term. Maybe I shouldn't use that, but like that you have in the game.
Well, so yes, and the thing is, remember the X Jewel ratio started at 1 to 1.
Yes.
So the X crystal, so they're airdropping us crystal just in the form of X Jewel.
Okay,
It's going to
gotcha.
be the same amount. And then the second there's one transaction, the second
You
transaction
get that
starts
little
going in,
bump.
we're going to get that little bump. So there's an incentive to staying in it, especially on the first day when we're going to have all this traffic.
I mean, I did a few level ups, and I didn't summon anybody, but like I should be getting, I think like 5 like single digits of crystal, right?
Yeah, you got some.
Yeah, which I might as well, like I'll throw it in, see what happens.
Throw it in where? What are you going to do with it?
Well, I don't know. Where can I put it when I first get it?
You can leave it in X Jewel. You can
Wait, leave it in X Jewel?
Jesus,
crystal.
there's
Okay.
too many things going on. You can
Well, this is
leave
what
it
I'm
in
talking about. I mean, like this is confusing. Like,
You can leave it in X crystal. You can watch the chart and sell it when it pumps because it's going to be a little erratic.
yeah,
Or you can, leave it in X crystal until the crystal
garden until the garden
element
that
comes out.
accepts it. Yeah.
Or you can give it all to me.
Why would I do that? What benefit is that for me? What do I get?
Well, we'll workshop it. We'll see what different ideas, different strokes for different folks.
I just get the good feeling that I gave a friend some money.
Yeah, and then like we're on a team. You have a sage, I have all your money. It's everybody wins.
Hey, I can't talk to you anymore. Like, unless you get a sage. Like, don't talk to me unless you have a sage, basically.
Pavo is shit. No sage. Get out of here.
I'm gonna have the best. I'm gonna have a PvP team that actually can win.
Yeah,
Rare Knight, Uncommon, Dark Knight, and a Sage with 2 advanced
You got your
abilities.
tank, you got your DPS, and you got your healer.
Yeah.
Yep.
With 2 advanced.
2 advanced on my Sage.
So something I want to know.
Yeah.
I have a uncommon paladin that is doing quite well on the level ups. He's
Okay.
level 4 and he's above a bunch of my level 5s.
Shit, nice.
His abilities are basic 1 and then 3 basic 7s.
Interesting. I don't think that
Is
matters.
he gonna have just 2 moves? Like what?
No.
How are they gonna work that out?
Well, because like one's active, one is just like
Basic 7
Oh,
as
they're different.
1 is
Yeah.
not the same
Yeah.
as Basic 7 passive.
Okay.
2.
Damn. Yes, that's the answer. Now I'm feeling better about him.
yeah.
Now is Basic 7 good for a paladin?
Well, we
Yeah.
don't know.
It is.
Nobody knows.
It's a super heal.
Lay on
Sounds-
hands.
I was just gonna say, what was that WoW move? And it was Lay on Hands.
Oh yeah. Lay on hands is like the paladin move.
60-minute cooldown.
Holy shit, it must have been amazing in WoW.
Do you know what Lay on Hands was?
I mean, usually it's a self heal, but
Lay on Hands was you can only use it once an hour. So if you're raiding, you can only use it on a boss.
When you said the cooldown thing, I didn't quite get it. But then when you said it takes once an hour, now I get it. Thank you.
So wait, so how long in between times you could use it?
No, but the interesting thing is, even if you die, the cooldown still is intact.
That's bullshit.
Yeah, it's
So it's like if you're fighting a boss and you use your cooldown and your team still wipes, you've lost your cooldown.
That
Yeah.
sucks.
To the
But I
point
didn't
where a
touch
lot of
grass
people are
anymore.
like, yeah, it's like, yeah,
Go-
we're done for today.
go get
See
sodas.
you guys tomorrow.
What?
But what
what
Lay
did it
on
do? Yeah,
Hands
what did it do?
was, no matter how much health you had, it brought you to 100%
That's
health.
amazing.
So you could be
And
at
paladins are
1%,
tanks. Yeah.
your priest could be out of mana, and you could use Lay on Hands
Yeah.
and reset the entire boss fight
your whole party or just you?
just for yourself.
Just you.
Okay.
But you're the
Okay.
tank, which is huge for the whole party. Like, yeah.
Right, of course.
Right.
I know what tanks are. Thank you.
Yeah, I think actually now that I think about it, lay on hands in D&D, I'm pretty sure is as long as you're touching somebody, you can do the heal. Most paladins do the self heal.
Right.
Paladins are interesting. I mean, I know obviously in other games you can do whatever you want, but in D&D it was very strict. Like you had to have a code and like most of the times a god, and like if you betrayed that, you lost all your powers. Which like it's easy in WoW because it's not really like, you know.
Because the lore doesn't really exist.
Exactly, yeah, and like
you can follow the lore, but it's not affecting the gameplay.
exactly, yeah.
Well, D&D also.
But D&D, like the DM could decide, like, no, what you're doing is against your like oath, and so you lose all your powers right now and then in the middle of a fight. Like,
But you don't actually lose anything. If they did that in WoW or DFK, it's like there's actual things.
yeah, that's a
at
good point.
stake.
Yeah.
DFK.
Well, I mean, you still would be pissed though.
Sure, but it's kind of like make believe D&D, you know, where these are like real games.
Oh, right, my bad. I forgot about how real this was.
Costs a lot of money. It's pretty real.
The metaverse is real if you believe in it.
No, nothing against D&D for the listeners out there. Just wanted to rib Matty a little bit.
Are we officially using this content
Oh,
now?
fuck yeah.
Now that you said that, we're not. He has to cut around that now.
I don't want to pivot too fast away from gardens. Are we good to talk about the tavern now? Because I think
Yeah,
we just
yeah.
stumbled
Let's
into
do it.
something.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at Gen 1 10 out of 10s. Floor price is under 60, which is insane.
Yeah.
But a really interesting thing is the mining Gen 1s have held value. The floor for a mining Gen 1 at 10 out of 10 is still 95 jewel.
Well, have they held value, or were they that much higher to begin with, and they're coming down the same percentage? You know.
They were definitely higher, but I don't think they've dropped as much. Yeah, they might have been you might have seen a floor at 110, 130, but holding at 95 is pretty good. I
Yeah.
mean, 30 joule premium over the rest of the Gen 1 floors.
I mean, I think that's clear that miners right now are, you could say gardeners too, but obviously not to the same level. Miners are the most direct path to value right now, right? They literally punch out and give you cash basically, in the in-game equivalent. So they're going to have value just because none of the other professions can do anything close to that.
And because you're
And
doubling the amount that the big accounts who need miners now need. They're not going to stop mining in Sarandale. They still have large lock balances there, so they have to duplicate their workforce.
yeah, they're going to need twice as many, as well as there's going to be a new regime of quote unquote whales, whether they're the same ones or not, that are going to need miners in Crystalvale.
Yeah. Well, and we talked about this a little bit, but sending your heroes, you can't quest in both at the same time. Is like, that's the clear, obviously, but
Yes.
you can send them back and forth, and we don't know how that's going to work exactly, but I'm curious to see if especially if we can get macro stats on that, is like how many people are sending their heroes over to Crystalvale once they open up quests out there. I think that'd be interesting to see how that plays out in the Sarandale
Well, I'm
Tavern.
curious to see how the game mechanics work. Of is there a benefit of being in Crystalvale rather than Sarandale, other than obviously mining crystal?
Well, I mean, so assume let's take higher level quest out of the equation, right? Say
Sure.
level 0 quests come out in Crystalvale. Do you think we're going to be having the exact same items as rewards? Because I kind of don't.
I was debating the same thing
Like, are there
too.
going to be shimmer skins, or are there going to be like frosty tails or whatever we're
Yeah.
calling them?
Oh, you heard it here first.
Yeah, that's
Frosty Tales.
uh, for,
No, I think that's a fair point because they mentioned that, and they mentioned they wanted to create the sort of marketplaces rivaling each other because some have some items and some don't have those same items. So yeah, and it would be interesting to see how those prices react on the trader.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, let's go back. Tavern. We're still. Oh, right. I wanted to talk about this because this is very interesting. This is something, Franz, you actually called this out. As we said, the tavern right now is insane. Prices are crazy low. But one thing that's very interesting to me is that levels are being valued super low. If you're a level 1 hero versus a level 4 hero, the price is not that big of a difference when the effort to get to level 4 is should be valued higher, in my opinion. I think this is my guess right now, is just that this is the result of all we have is these level 0 quests, and it's tedious, and people just want to move their heroes. But should this be something we should be taking note of? These differences in the levels.
yeah, we didn't touch on levels in the little market update thing that we did last week. Peel off on Twitter does it daily, and I love waking up to it and just seeing how much further the floor has fallen, right? But yeah, I feel like we're kind of beating the drum a little bit. But the second those higher level quests come out, there's going to be a mad rush to get those level 5+ heroes. Like those could be the best deal on the market. I've been focusing on rarity. I know you guys, Matty, you got yourself a sage, but like maybe we should be just picking off the highest levels we see.
Yeah, but I'm hesitant there because from what I've gathered from listening to the AMAs, the higher level quests are going to be based on your profession scores, not based on the level of your hero necessarily. Now, obviously, a level 7 hero is much more likely to have a higher profession score than like a level 1 or level 2. However, I don't think necessarily level makes the difference. I think it's the profession score.
So, but and that is what they were kind of telling us.
Mhm.
But then a graphic came out during the AVAC summit that had level barriers on different parts of land, and what they said was that the higher level quests would be in these different lands. So maybe that was
Interesting.
just they were going through it quick in the middle of the summit. Like maybe that's still kind of up in the air, but
Okay.
that was a shift as far as I was seeing it.
Yeah, and so maybe it's as simple as the quest is a level 10 foraging quest. So you got to be level 10 foraging, but in order to get there, you need to be a level 5 hero.
I see.
Yeah, that makes
So
sense.
in that situation, I think Franz, I think you're 100% right. Is that we might be looking at the wrong thing. We might be valuing the wrong thing here with the advanced classes and stuff like that. It should be level that we should be focusing on.
Could be not
I
hero
don't know
advice.
though. Not hero advice. Oh, I like that. That's good.
Yeah.
We'll start saying that. I still hesitant there. Again, I just want to let everyone know I have a sage now and I'm a whale. So like from my opinion, levels don't matter. I'm being sarcastic, obviously.
It's a level 1 sage, isn't it?
No, it's a level
That's
2.
what you really. Ooh, level
you go.
2.
Yeah. And it's very close to level 3, actually. I only need... Hey, and by the way, Shiva's rune on the first run.
There you go.
Nice.
There you go.
Already bringing value to the
Gotta
team.
get that egg next.
Sage life. That's the sage life right there. Well, this has been another episode of Bogside Chats, where we kept it casual, talking DeFi Kingdoms, the only non-whale podcast, no Gen Zeros, no stable of 100 heroes. My name is Matty Pesk. Thank you guys for listening.
See ya.